This news update is brought to you by
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connected to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
It's Tuesday, October 27th, and time for the Barbados Today Evening Update. I'm Frenella Wedderburn. The Barbados Central Bank lowers its economic growth projections for the island by half. In his latest economic review and outlook, Governor Dr. Delisle Worrell says the country is now expected to post 0.5% growth for 2015 instead of the 1% forecasted in June. This, he says, is due to the delayed implementation of more than $500 million in private and government-funded investment projects. He says the island's growth prospects now depends heavily on the success of government's medium-term program for growth and fiscal adjustment.
Assuming that these projects will now be underway next year, growth rises to about 1% in 2016 and 2% thereafter. It is possible to improve significantly on these forecasts. Factors that can make for much better performance include the improvement of administrative efficiency in the public service, initiatives to increase labor productivity and worker engagement, an aggressive policy of fiscal consolidation, more effective incentives and support for green energy, and new and more appropriate financing of the development of the cultural and heritage sector.
Tourism, he says, continues to do well, but there was a shortfall in the construction sector.
Barbados' tourism has been encouraging so far in 2015, with arrivals increasing by 14.5% to end September. However, construction activity fell short of expectations, and the spillover effects to the retail and domestic services sectors were muted, resulting in growth of 0.3% for the year so far. Average unemployment over the first half of the year was 12%, and inflation, which is mainly imported, fell to 0.8% in the 12 months ending July. The usage of foreign reserves has reverted to normal since the end of 2013.
Meantime, the unemployment rate in Barbados stands at 11.9% as of June this year. That's according to the latest continuous household labor force survey by the Barbados Statistical Service, which also showed that men accounted for the majority of those on the breadline at 12.8% and women 11.9%. The total number of unemployed persons stood at 17,100. That's a breakdown of 9,200 males and 7,900 females, while the labor force stood at 143,300 persons. The wholesale and retailer trade sector generated jobs for the largest number of persons, employing 19,800 people. Finance Minister Chris Sinclair says the opposition Barbados Labour Party is giving the public the wrong impression on the Cahill Waste-to-Energy project. He made the comment in Parliament this afternoon as debate continued on a resolution to acquire land at Vaucluse St. Thomas for government's green energy program. The multi-million-dollar project has been the subject of much controversy during the last few months, with MP for St. Thomas, Cynthia Ford, this morning calling for a full disclosure. But Sinclair is insisting that due diligence was followed by the Frondel Stewart administration with regards to the project.
You want to tell me you can put up a plant in Barbados with an advanced technology such as plasma gasification, and anybody in government can sign a deal to give somebody permission to set up a plant without going through the process of getting town planning approval, having the social assessment, the environmental impacts assessment, the the social assessment, EPD, and all of those together. But that's the point. They get to stage of application because they all run out into the public, giving the people the impression that the government was doing something by stealth to destroy them and cost them billions of dollars. You did not even wait for the process, Mr. Speaker, sir, to unfold.
A World Health Organization report warns eating processed meat like hot dogs, ham and bacon do cause cancer, but former Dean of Medical Sciences at the University of the West Indies, Professor Sir Henry Fraser, says the report is not new and there is no need for alarm. According to the report released yesterday, as little as 2 slices of bacon per day can increase the risk of colon cancer by 18%. Sir Henry tells Barbados Today the findings should not scare the pants off anyone, but he says Barbadians should take a second look at their diet and follow the principles of moderation.
It's for you to modify your diet a little bit more and to decrease the amount of preserved meats and increase the amount of fish and vegetable protein in your diet. In other words, there may be people who eat processed meats and smoked this and process that every day, so, and may only eat fish once a week. And we're saying that it be the other way around. Have your bacon or sausage or processed salami or whatever else once a week, and have your fish every day. Okay. Get things into perspective. As they say, a little bit of what you love does you no harm.
In sports, Stoner's women came from behind to stun Warren's 3-1 at the Wilde Gymnasium last night in the ongoing Goddard Enterprises Limited Division 1 League battle. Also in action were knockout queens Flo Senatry, Dickens, who were made to work for their victory against the Young Barbados Junior girls, who showed lots of fight, but in the end were defeated 3-2 to Dickens. The club unfortunately could not hold off Carlton, who won 26-24, 17-25, 25-22, and 25-22 when the two sides met.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
To our regional neighbors now, 2 construction workers have been remanded to prison in Trinidad and Tobago in connection with the murders of attorney Richard Willer and his wife Grace a week ago at their Tobago home. More in this TV6 News report.
2 men have appeared in court charged with the murders of Richard and Grace Wheeler. 29-year-old Andre Romeo of Mount Pleasant, Tobago, and 23-year-old Najib Hills of St. Vincent appeared before a Scarborough magistrate this morning. The 2 are expected to reappear in court on November 24th.
And further afield, a shocking discovery at a home in South Carolina. According to this CNN report, investigators acting on a tip recovered 10,000 guns in the home of Brent Nicholson and other stolen property.
From guns and ammunition to stuffed deer heads and chainsaws. Many Pageland residents watched in disbelief as detectives hauled all of this stuff out of the home of Brent Nicholson.
It's scary. It's so close to home.
Chesterfield County deputies say they've investigated Nicholson for weeks now, and they received a warrant Friday evening to search his home. When they looked inside the shed, they made the shocking discovery: 10,000 guns, most of them stacked to the ceiling of this storage shed. Investigators believe Nicholson was buying stolen guns and hoarding them. Detectives say they found even more stolen guns in this liquor store they say Nicholson owned with his father. They say they also found guns in his father's home.
That report brings us to the end of our evening update, but there's more on our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, our email updates, and of course, like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Isome Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 101 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM for all the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.